So I'm Nirav. Uh, I'm in final year. I'm in BArch final year. And about the home cultures, my topic is living room. So, what kind of activities should an architect keep in mind while designing a living room? That's the whole topic. So, this is a collage about what all activities, how. So, these are 3 or 4 living rooms combined, and it shows what are the activities happening in the living room. So, for example, kids are studying or playing, then people are sleeping, dancing, reading newspapers, etc. So, from the recollections, connection to the living room to other spaces is really important according to the first one, which is climbing on the corridor walls. So there is a corridor between living room and kitchen and bedrooms. So I used to climb on the walls of the corridor. So some people used to go under me and it was fun. So this kind of activities can happen if we provide a corridor, for example. Then there was a one-seater swing in the living room. So I used to touch the ceiling from my legs and my hands. So if you provide that kind of a space where only one-seater swing or two-seater swing can fit, so that's upon the architect's decision. So the method I took is 3 types of houses are taken and what all activities are happening or can happen. So the design of the living room is basically based on the user itself and architect, of course. But as an architect, what all activities we can preconceive and make or design those spaces like that, so that the activities which we thought can happen. So this is one scene. So while entering the house, what all spaces should one see from the entrance? So accordingly, while designing, we can think that what all spaces should be around the living room. So this is a house. This is a individual house where 3 people are living. So if a stranger comes and he's standing on the door, and what all can he see from there? So here the configuration of the washroom and the washroom door is such that if one person is standing there, you cannot see the person from the entry. So if somebody comes and if somebody just coming out of the bathroom after bathing on a towel or something, then he shouldn't see that person. So the importance of the foyer and what could be the size of it, it matters. So somebody is looking for his friend. And he was hiding behind that door. What kind of spaces should be in the proximity of the living room? So this is an apartment. It's five people are living in the apartment. So if you see from the living room, what all spaces can you see? What all private spaces can you see from the living room? So the configuration of those 2 bedrooms are such that you cannot see through the bedroom, through the doors. But the washroom door is still visible from the living room. So another example for that. So if you are in the kitchen and if you try to see in the living room, then you cannot see fully in the living room. I think that from the kitchen you should see in the living room. So there is a scene. So the mother kept her baby in the living room to play, and he started crying. But she cannot see him, so she runs. But the baby is not in the living room, so, so she has to keep an eye on on her baby. But it will be possible if we what all elements we can allow them to change. So if we change the whole spatial configuration, then what if we move the living room where the first bedroom is and move the bedroom that side? So that can be one thing. Also, we can modify this junction here. So what if we remove it and the mother can fully see her child? Also, we have to think about what all activities can happen in the living room. For example, guests are coming and we don't have a guest room, so they will sleep in the living room. So what all can we think? What all furnitures can come there, and what will be the empty space there, so that they can put their beds and they can sleep there. So what if this is an existing furnitured living room where you can move this table and sleep there? So similarly, what all furniture layouts can we think about the living room so that people can sleep there? Also, I think that there should be a private corner in the living room. Private corner as in where you don't feel really private and it's not fully public also. If but the living room is meant to be public. So if I'm sitting in the living room and I want to read a book, for example, and I don't want to be separated from others also, so this corner is forming that, maybe because of the window and maybe because of the sofa, or it can be anything. So what all kind of there could be more, but these are some private corners examples where there are window niches or there is a separate corner. So this is an example of shared apartment where 4 residents are living. This is the similar as what from the entry, what all spaces can you see? So if some stranger is coming, then the bedroom configuration is such that you can see through 2 doors if the doors are open. Then in the same apartment, they don't have any windows in the living room. As you can see here, they don't have any windows in the living room. They have skylights because it's on the top floor of it, and they have a pitched roof. So what if they want to talk in the living room but they don't feel quite open about it? So in the kitchen they have windows, so they might go into the kitchen and sit on the dining table and they might want to talk. So there are particular activities which can happen or which are happening in the living room. So for example, if because of this window design, that space is now belongs to a grandfather in one of my friend's place. So what all he keeps there, for example, what all he reads, a calendar, his specs, a bottle of water, and he can see outside all the trees and the cars and everything. So he sleeps there, he sits there. So that is his space now. Similarly, if we can put lower heighted windows so that they can put gaddas or khats for the for the old age people. Again, there is one small concept of secret slash hidden spaces. So, what happens in a bungalow, in an individual house? There are spaces which are like backyard, or there is one veranda, so which we cannot find, or we do not find in the apartments. So, but if we are in the apartments, we do not think about those spaces, and we are in the bungalow. Not we are not we are not consciously thinking about those spaces. So, what kind of spaces are there? So, for example, there is backyard. So, can we provide the backyard in an apartment? So, the backyard is defined by the material of it, the openness of it. So, can we provide different material for in an apartment near wash area, so that it feels like it's a different space where we can wash our clothes and hang them itself? But in major apartments, from the living room balcony is the biggest. That's what I guess. So, if they don't have a dryer, so that they wash their clothes and they hang it in the living room balcony. So, if the clothes are hanging in the living room balcony, then people don't sit there. The balcony is just for hanging clothes. So, from the elevation also, from outside also, if I'm going with somebody, then I won't like to say that that's my home if you want to see, because there are clothes hanging and stuff. So, what if we make that space as a veranda? So, these spaces are connected with living room, for example, this balcony, and also the entrance foyer. So, what all materials can we put there? For example, foyer, as we talked in last lecture, that we can put grass in the foyer, so that the feeling of entering our own space that arrives. And what all can happen in the balcony, so that we can open up and make a large living room out of that. So, do we want our balconies like this? So, from all of it, what all did we learn? So, the entrance space, what all can happen? We have to think about the foyer and the spaces around the living room, for example, the bathroom and bedroom doors. Then, what all spaces should be in the visual proximity of the living room? Where will the guest sleep? We have to think about the furniture which can come there, so that the guest configuration can happen if they are with less rooms or no guest rooms. So, private slash territorial spaces can be found into the living room. Thank you.